People saying that, oh, Imam, he can give his eyes to people.
People do love him because of his humility and respect. Always want to help people.
What people see about a unifier, I unify people when I see people who are, we are divided in thought and everything. I think of humanity before religion. Also, people think about me as an interfaith person.
He was the first person that made me to enter mosques.
That's what I feel I was born to do in life. My name is Imam Shafi Abdul Karim Majemu, and this is my story.
Imam Shafi Abdul Karim Majemu's story is one of greatness. It is entwined with a prophecy long said before he was conceived. To understand the story, let's travel back in time to the 1940s. During the Second World War, there was an Islamic scholar in Ekpe area of Lagos. He was a revolutionary preacher who taught about Islam and peace. His name was Alfa Abdul Karim Majemu. Alfa Majemu left indelible marks on the sands of time. But shortly before his death, he gave what has been described as a prophecy about his succession. None of his children could fit his shoes.
He told his own children, about 7 of them, that, you know what, when I die, before his death, when I die, don't give my name to anyone. When the child comes, you will see the sign.
Two years after the sun set on Alfa Abdul Karim Majemu's era, came the dawn of a new one. But this happened 85 kilometers away from the coastal town of Ekpe, where Alfa Abdul Karim Majemu had lived. The baby was born in the chaotic pre-urban settlement of Ajegunle, a place known to be notoriously volatile in Lagos, southwest Nigeria.
This is the house where I was born. My mother actually called they called herself. During my naming, my father and the family didn't find it difficult to look for name. And they said, this is the child. And because the circumstances that surround my coming to this world actually depicted what the old man said before he died. And immediately I was being called from my childhood, Afa, Afa.
The young Abdul Karim became a seed expected to inspire greatness in the community. To fulfill his father's wish, the young Abdul Karim's father, Alhaji Shafiu Abdul Karim, set him on a sail earlier in life.
There is an Ahmadiyya mosque where I was taught the Quran. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin.
The young Abdul Karim Majemu attended several Quranic schools to prepare him for the job ahead. At the age of 6, his father enrolled him and his brother in a Quranic school 301 kilometers away from Lagos. At this time, he had just begun his primary school education in Lagos, Nigeria. But 3 years after, his brother withdrew him from the school and took him back to Ajegunle, where the family lived. He went back to primary school and continued his Quranic education in the neighborhood.
This used to be my classroom where I started primary 2.
The young Abdul Karim Majemu would later attend Expressway Secondary School located within Tolu School Complex, Ajegunle.
There are a group of schools there, about 16 high school. secondary schools and 3 primary schools.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ekujameta. I taught Sheffield when he was at Expressway Secondary School, right from the JS1 till he finished the secondary school.
The complex was notorious for violent clashes between students.
For this Ajegunle then, we teachers, we all, in fact, in our drawer, in our locker, we do have knife, cutlass, and some other thing. Because a small thing we normally ignite students on rest. They will move from one school to the other. And that time there was no fence. So it was easy for students to move from school A to school B to school D to school F.
Normally, Ajegunle not dàgbà sí, a máa jiyàn. So torí àdọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọmọ tó yẹ pé l'Ajegunle ni wọ́n dàgbà sí, ṣùgbọ́n ìwà wọn kò bá wa mu.
Right from his junior class, Alfa Abdul Karim, as he was fondly called, exhibited exceptional leadership that made him tower above the fecklessness of some of his peers.
He happened to be one of the best students, Sheffield Abdul Karim, to the extent that I knew where he lived that time at Olowo Jenjeje.
At the age of 13, he would send letters to friends in the United Kingdom discussing football and other topics of interest.
When the teacher that was in charge of going to Ampapo's office to bring mail, every time he brings mails and letters, he discovered that I have like 100% of the letters. So one day he now said, look, it seems I'm going there to pick letters for you. So you know what? You will be going there to pick letters yourself. So I started going to Ampapo. So when it was time for them to appoint prefects, so they appoint me as the mailbox prefect.
His leadership skills began to take center stage as he progressed in class.
I became the imam of the entire complex at that very tender age. The entire complex having 16 secondary schools. All the Muslim students there converge in this particular space to observe Jumat prayers. It was there I was nominated to participate at the National Youth Leadership Program at the C School.
Shortly after his secondary school education, the young Abdul Karim moved on to an Islamic college in Ogun State. He later enrolled at the Lagos State University, where he bagged a diploma in communication arts, a bachelor's and master's degree in mass communication, and he is rounding off his doctoral studies. This makes him both a distinctive Islamic and communication scholar.
Alhamdulillah alladhi anzala ala abdil kitab wa lam yaj'al lahu 'iwaja wa lam yaj'al lahu 'iwajan qayyiman liyundhira ba'than.
You know, Imam is an ordained position by Allah. I never thought of becoming an imam, but I have the feeling that I have to have the knowledge of my religion. And I have to toe a path like I want to walk, I want to study, and I want to be a jihadist for Islam, you know, like propagator of Islam, but not like being an imam or this way. No. That is within me at that early time. But at the same time, I knew I was going to be.
At 29, Imam Shefiu Abdul Karim Majamu had started a family. He was working with the Nigerian Correctional Service and everything seemed to be working well. But soon after he started a career he was beginning to enjoy, the need to become an imam became self-evident.
I was called upon in Magodo to apply for the position of imam. I turned down the offer because I knew I was working and there's no way I can run the two together. It took me a lot of time to apply, but eventually I just said, okay, let me just go and test my knowledge. That was the reason. And behold, I came first.
With the new job, a critical decision had to be made. Imam Shefiu Abdul Karim Majamu would have to resign his appointment with the Nigerian Correctional Service. It wasn't a decision the young family was prepared to make at the time.
Look at it. Oga, we are just starting our life. I'm a civil servant, you're a civil servant. We don't have anything. Imam Ke, in Nigeria here.
Confused, yet resolute, the young Imam turned to his mentors for guidance.
So both of them said, you want to leave government work to go and become an Imam. They are not in support.
And I said, I know you as a very brilliant person. You will not regret leaving. If you have convinced yourself that you are ready to leave, then I later pray for his success. Until today, he has not disappointed me.
He focused full-time on his new mission, leading one of the elitist Islamic groups in Lagos. But his journey was short-lived.
And I went to a prayer seclusion. It's called Khalwa. I went to sit down somewhere in my house. And that was where that message came. It was during the first 10 days of the Islamic New Year calendar for Muharram. And I went to do that prayer, and at the end of that prayer, right there, I got the message that, you know what, leave that place. You can imagine again. Leave that Imam position. You are still Imam, but leave that place, and this is what you will do.
His new mandate was to create a platform that brings people together, irrespective of their faith.
I started this NGO work, humanitarian work. And the first of it was so after that dream, I started this Islamic platform.
When he established Islamic Platforms Society of Nigeria, I told him, Imam, this cannot let you go far. Go and change that Islamic Platform Society of Nigeria to something unique that we embrace by all faiths.
Together with other like minds, he started organizing lectures and building bridges.
We're bringing people both in the north. We bring scholars, Nigeria here, internationally. We brought Khalid Yassin. We brought Black Quake. We brought Mufti Menk. We brought a lot of people. We brought Zakir Naik. We had that lecture that was being globally.
To expand his reach, he joined an interfaith organization in Kaduna, northwestern Nigeria, and soon became its Southwest coordinator. In 1999, a wave of violent clashes swept through Imam Abdul Karim's birthplace of Ajegunle. Ethnic Yoruba residents clashed with their Ijaw neighbors. Some people were killed and houses torched. A year after, Yoruba and Hausa community had another bloody clash. More than 250 people were killed, many others injured, and about 2,000 were displaced.
Because I have a lot of relationship with the Hausa community in Ajegunle, CD area, so I went to them, I spoke to them. I went to Ala Abiagba, where we have the traditional Egungun people, coming up. I went there and I talked to them. We can't do this. We've been living together for many, many years. It's not now that we have to we can start killing ourselves. The houses were burnt everywhere, the things were destroyed, properties were destroyed and so on. So, and just because they saw that a young boy, a small boy, came to talk to them. And that was how we started the peace accord. And I think since that time up this way, we have never had any conflict again.
These events refocused the purpose of the young Imam.
And when we started having, this Al-Qaeda, recruiting youths and so on and so forth. So the idea just came to me, let me start gathering youth. And I started the Muslim Leaders of Tomorrow's Conference. And I did that with the Interfaith Media Center with one of my friends.
In 2010, his peace-building efforts started to gain traction.
The Consulate General in Lagos heard about this conference from one of And said, and they called my partner and said they want to come. And they came. Then Ellen Hudson was the political officer of the consulate in Lagos. So she came and she saw what we were doing. She saw the role I played. And so after then, she hosted my group in a house at VI. So, and we talked at length. And she was asking about what do you want to do after this? I started talking this, that. And I told her about my dream. I said, wow. And he said, okay. The following week, she sent a message to me, Imam, I want to nominate you for a program in the US. Will you be able to go? I said, yes. Say, okay, I'm nominating you for the International Leadership Program.
10 Nigerians were selected from different blocks to participate in the program.
The Strength in Diversity Development Center turned around his life, changed his life, changed his perception.
4 years after the program, Imam Shafiu Abdul Karim co-founded Strength in Diversity organizations to mobilize and bring people together to work on peace building and interfaith dialogue. His co-founder, evangelist Dr. Doris Yaro Phillips, is a Christian from Boko Haram insurgency torn Maiduguri, Borno State in northeast Nigeria.
Imam is a good person, a teachable person, a person that does not discriminate. He's someone that brings people together. And Imam, I can describe him as a good leader.
Together with a board of directors, they decided to use their platforms as a vehicle to promote diversity and religious tolerance.
While I returned from the US, I discovered that a lot of religious leaders like me need this kind of exposure because it was really a lifetime experience for me. It changed a lot of things about me, about my impression about other people, about other worlds. And I felt that if other religious leaders can have this kind of opportunity that I have had, then meaning that our country will change for good. So I designed my own project, and I call it the International Religious Literacy Project under the Strength in Diversity Development Center. And this, I work with the consulate on this. I presented this proposal to them. I was invited. Our first training was in University of Massachusetts in Boston with Professor Darren Q. He was the dean of the Center for Global Studies and Peace in that university. So it was that training that Professor Diane Moore came to as facilitators, one of the facilitators. And he now discussed with me that you can come to Harvard also, because she was the dean of the Center for the Study of World Religion at Harvard Divinity School. So, and we designed another project with them. And for about 3 times, I was second religious leader, both Muslim and Christians, and even traditional leaders to Harvard to train them on peace building, interfaith dialogue, conflict transformation, action, and so on and so forth. So from there we developed to that extent that even the military chaplains are now part of this project. And as I speak to you, this project is very, very much in vogue, still sustainable.
Through their Strength in Diversity project, they directly touch the lives of scores of religious leaders.
About 70 religious leaders, both Muslim, Christian, and traditional institutions, even from the media, that have benefited from these international trainings that we've had in Harvard, in UMass Boston. We also MIT were there. So not only even in the US, so we have the Alamana Center in Oman, and in Qatar we also have, and also we have done with institutions in Kenya.
In 2015, the organization partnered international centers to understand the motivation behind Boko Haram insurgency in Nigeria.
In 2015, there's the Network for Regional Traditional Peacemakers in Finland. They are also in Washington, D.C. And also KAICID, King Abdullah bin Abdulaziz International Center for Religious Dialogue, came together. And also the Finn Church Aid in Finland came together to carry out a rehabilitation project. I mean, let me say a research work in Nigeria. and they were finding it difficult to penetrate through the north for the returning Boko Harams. So they got in touch with the government of Nigeria. So eventually we were called upon. That was in 2015 in December. So we were asked to carry out that research work. That was the first one we did. So we were there with my team, and we interviewed about 100 Boko Haram.
Imam Shafiu Abdul Karim presented the findings of the report at the side event of the United Nations General Assembly in the United States of America. After the presentation, the United Nations and the World Bank partnered with the Strength in Diversity organization to rehabilitate, reconcile, and reintegrate repentant violent extremist offenders into society.
For 3 years, we were engaging the returnees. Some of them were under the custody of the military, and that was where today we have that relationship with the Nigerian army.
250 Boko Haram members were rehabilitated and reintegrated into society.
It was a great project for us, and it's actually, so it was where that was how I was now, became someone that people started calling around. Can you do this for us? Can you come for this program? Can you? So I had a lot of invitations across the world.
Imam Shafiu Abdul Karim's impact now echoes around the world.
When we were SS1, the senior secondary school 1, that was where I found my love, my first love.
They started in 1992 during our long vacation.
Very beautiful, beautiful, beautiful girl then, up to this moment. And she would come to me and say I should teach her Arabic, and while in the school she would come with her textbooks. I would start teaching. So I was teaching, but I was looking at something else. I would start writing letters. Sending letters to her.
He brought a letter to me where I used to sell cocoa by then. That is October 6, 1992. After giving me the letter, he and his friend, Tunde, gave the letter and they ran away. That is when I read the letter. I just smiled. There and then, he said it once, I want you to be my wife.
The entire school, know about our students, know about our relationship, my friends, everyone, and we were so, it was like a done deal, even from that age.
He was the senior head boy of Expressway Secondary School, Tulu Complex here in Ajegunle. Likewise, Alaja was the senior girl.
Before I completed my university education, I got married. Parents resisted at a point.
Àmọ́ látara pé àní mo fẹ́ kíní tí ìfẹ́ náà ti wà lọ́kàn ìyàwó àti ìyàwó tó jẹ́ ìyàwó tèmi. Èhun tí ìyàwó tèmi tẹ̀ gbé ń bẹ̀ ló pọ̀ tó forí kó mẹ́ torí ilé kan lọ́jọ́ pẹ̀lú ìyàwó Imam Shafiu.
After his 40th birthday, Imam Shafiu Abdul Karim took in 2 more wives as part of his religious rite.
I need to take it as my faith. Marrying another wife did not change anything from him to me, and also from me to him, because he's there as a father and he's also there as a husband. It didn't change anything.
Imam Shafiu Abdul Karim is married to 3 wives and has 7 children. Today, Imam Shafiu Babatunde Oluwagbemiga Abdul Karim seems to be fulfilling the prophecy of his late grandfather. He has taken the mantle with honor and expanded its influence.
My grandfather was a teacher. He taught a lot of people. at the local level. Today, I've been able to take it beyond just the local level to the global space, whereby I teach religion, I also teach peace. He was a peacemaker. During the World War, he was going around to appeal to people, you can say, to be patient. You can see he was telling them the God of Allah. And today, I have actually taken it to another level of not only building peace locally, but even joining the global community to restore and sustain global peace. He was a just man during his lifetime who likes transparency and accountability. People talk about him. Baba Wisu, who just died, told me, because he was one of his students, he was the Afa of Ekpe recently, and they have it. So he said, your grandfather was a transparent man, just. You can imagine that I found myself working on transparency and accountability. So many of all these things are divinely motivated. So he was a unifier. He was a humanizer. I mean, when I say humanizer, someone who cares about women, who give people their rights and dues. Do you get what I'm saying? And you can see today, this is what is playing out in my own life. And I feel that wherever he is, and I know is in the blossom of Allah, doing great, he will be extremely happy that where I stopped, my grandson has taken it far, far away. And my own prayer is that my own children and other children within the family are able to take it beyond where I have taken it to.
As a mentor, I'm very grateful that he has gone a long way in what he's pursuing, most especially the interfaith program.
When I hear what people say about my husband, I feel great and happy, and I thank God for his life.
In the last 50 years, he has touched everyone that has come his way.
I feel golden from my heart, and I feel fulfilled for the life spent so far.
I wish him long, good life, good health, breakthrough.
Dad, I really appreciate you for all you do for us, and Allah reward you and grant you Jannah, inshallah.
He has really imparted more than what he attained today in terms of age.
Imam Shefu, I'm here to salute you, celebrate you, and felicitate with you on your 50th birthday anniversary.
Questions when I talk to them, and the question, especially when I'm in an Islamic gathering, my question is always this. For us, and why do we have all this problem? For us, if I have this phone now, it is certain that before I use this phone, I go through the manual, because I believe I want to use this phone for a long period of time. Optimally. But today, someone who created us actually gave us a manual, and that manual is Quran. But because we have neglected that manual, we have a lot of problems. Possible, even FIFA, one rules and regulations, that if you break those rules, if you break those regulations, you'll be penalized for it. But because Muslims, we have neglected our manual, we don't use our manual. That is why the world is what it is today. You understand? Secondly, the effect it has on our economy is social unrest. And I'll tell you what that social unrest is. See, the number of women compared to men is more, whether we like it or not. And that's the fact. Today, no woman, no lady will not want to have sexual satisfaction. So people will satisfy them. And that's the fact. That is why they will do everything humanly possible to get any man they see. Because they want to get us attracted to them. They want to get us attracted to them. There was a time while I was in school, all Benin, they wanted to protest, and they were like, we want to protest against rape. So we met them and we're like, what rape are you guys protecting against? Our Corona will protest against indecent dressing. And one of the response from one of the girls is, that about dress back on, and that's the fact. So if today we all have one, the others who will marry them, they want to be satisfied sexually. Another thing I want us to talk about again is, yes, my sister, when she was talking, she said there are a lot of ladies, women, hijabites and all that in psychiatric home. Yes, we will have them. And why will we have them? Because I can remember them. There was what we call home training. Gone are the days when your teacher will beat you in school and you get home and you'll be able to tell your parents. But today, our mothers even go to the schools to beat the teachers for training their children. Even our fathers. Another problem that is causing our economy is because we don't have time for our children again. Gone are the days when the mothers are the ones taking care of the home. Iṣẹ́ tọ́lọ́run bá dá wọn fún nìyẹn. Nígbà tí àdìsí ní pé gbogbo aládàárọ̀ jẹ, wọ́n á bi wá nípa ẹran tàdàjẹ, ẹran wo lọ́wọ́ ìyá wa ń dàjẹ́, kán tọ́jú ilé, kán tọ́jú ọmọ, àtọkọ. But today, our women want to be at par with the men. And that's the fact. We are not saying they should not work. We are not saying they should not work. But what is more important to you is taking care of the home. So, lastly, please. Okay. I think what is important for us is that it is our responsibility as parents, the male and the female, to make sure at every intervals our children are properly taken care of, educationally, Islamically, morally, and socially. But today is not the order of the day. And the fact is, if we keep going this way, is a time bomb waiting to explode. Tí ẹ̀yin bá tọ́mọ yín, tèmi tọ́mọ tèmi, tọ́wọ́n tọ́mọ tiwọn, they will come around in the community to relate. Àwọn ọmọ rẹ̀ ló máa jáde. Tọ́mọ rẹ̀ bá jáde, àánú àdúgbò rere, àní community rere. But today, the reverse is the case. That should be the basis of Islamic home. A situation where we will train our children, the husband will be of good character, tó tẹ̀sìn yé, ìyàwó náà ọmọ rẹ̀ tẹ̀sìn yé. Ẹ wá sọ fún mi báwo lọ́wọ́ yẹn ṣe máa bímọ tó máa bí ọmọ burúkú. Báwo ni wọ́n ṣe máa bímọ tí wọ́n wá bí ọmọ burúkú?
First in chapter 30 verse 21 in Surah Al-Rum, Allah says, وَمِنْ بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا. And of His signs is that He has created for you among yourselves أَزْوَاجًا, azwaj, partners, azwaj. And it was Al-Asma'i al-Nahwi who said azwaj, the word zawj, which we use for husband and wife, primarily actually means something shay'un la yatimmu illa bithanihi, something that will not be complete except with its partner, which means essentially man will not be complete without woman, and woman too will not be complete without man. And I think we can have a very good understanding of this from a story among the Todas of India. The Todas in India narrate the story of creation. As Muslims, we do not believe in that story, but there is a lesson in it. They said when God created man, He discovered that He had exhausted all of the concrete elements in the creation of man. So when He wanted to create woman, there was no concrete element to use. So He started selecting flexible elements. He took the gentility of the dove. He took the sweetness of the voice of the nightingale. He took the serenity of the sun rays. He took the inconsistencies of the weather. He took the wickedness of the leopard. All this, I'm narrating a story. He took all this and created woman and gave to man. Man, go and live with her. After a month, this guy came back. God, this creature you've given me troubles my life. She complains over every little thing. Say, I cannot live with her. God took her back. After a month, man came like a God. I really miss that creature. The way she dotes over me, the way she took care. In this 1 month, I've suffered, oh God. And Allah gave him back. After a month again, he now came back and said, God, I am serious now. I've discovered that she causes me more headache than comfort. Take her back. I cannot live with her. And God told him, and you cannot live without her. Go and learn how to live with her. So the day you get married, you are actually being admitted into the school of life. So the Nikah certificate they give you is your admission letter. Welcome to the school of life. You can't live with her and you cannot live without her, because every man or woman is an open book. Ṣùgbọ́n ojú tá máa fi wo ọ̀rọ̀ nínú ju ìyàwó kan lọ, òun ni wípé ètò Ọlọ́run ni ó yàtọ̀ sí ètò tẹ̀dé èèyàn. Tóbìnrin bá gbà nítorí pọ́kọ ẹ̀ torí pé ó mọ̀ pé tó Ọlọ́run ni, ó sàn ju pé ọkọ ẹ̀ bribe ẹ̀ láti gbà lọ. Effect bribery ó máa ń dópin, ojú àwa là sí reality. Oògùn yẹn àsoko àbí ewé àsoko. Lọ́dọ̀ sísà wa àkọ́kọ́, kò tọ́ nítòótọ́ kọkùnrin lọ máa brag. In fact, immaturity ni kọkùnrin lọ máa boast pé mo máa fẹ́ ìyàwó kò dẹ̀ sí tó lè ṣe. Kò gbọ́n ni kò tó ìyàwó fẹ́. Ṣùgbọ́n kò túmọ̀ sí wípé mo fẹ́ lọ gbàyọ̀ǹda obìnrin láti fẹ́yàwó. Màá sọ fún ẹ, àti rán mi nínú wa tajáfà tó lọ ń fẹ́yàwó ní kọ̀ọ̀rọ̀. Kò bójú mu, o ò tí ì tó ṣe nìyẹn. Tó bá tó ṣe pèyàwó ẹjọ́ sọ nítubí ìnùbí. Má retí pé àti bá ti sọ pé ó máa gbà. Ó ń tọ́ka sí wípé nítorí pé kò ní Yorùbá gan ti sọ pé òòṣà jẹun pé méjì obìnrin ò dé mú. Wàá máa bá a sọ̀rọ̀, wàá máa ṣàlàyé. Ó ń tọ́ka sí pé ẹ̀kọ́ ẹ̀ yìí kò kán. Òun gbogbo ò tí ì lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ní ta fẹ́ fẹ́yàwó lé ni o. So which means you have also failed in your responsibility as a husband. Ìwọ náà ò tí ì kọ́ lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tó. Ṣùgbọ́n kò mí nípa fẹ́ lọ gba permission ẹ̀. Torí pé tó bá retí permission yẹn tálíkì yá máa fi dé, ó lè má wà. Story ọkùnrin tó sọ fún ìyàwó ẹ̀ fẹ́ kú. Ìyàwó ẹ̀ wá ní promise me wípé títí tí erùpẹ̀ orí sàárè mi bá ti gbẹ, màá ẹni wàá fẹ́yàwó. Ọkọ ẹ̀ dẹ̀ promise ẹ̀ pé ọjọ́ mélòó ni erùpẹ̀ fi ń gbẹ. Àwọn máa lọ síbi sàárè yẹn lójoojúmọ́, máa rí pé ó wẹ̀ ó yìí tutù, kí ló dé? Ó kàn lọ́jọ́ kan ló bá dàbúrò ìyàwó ẹ̀ tó ń da omi sí gbẹ̀gẹ́ pé àti òun ló sọ fún òun pé kó ń jọ ojoojúmọ́ ayé kó máa lọ lórí.
Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Masha Allah.
Ó tún tóbi yẹn lójú ikú. Bẹ́ẹ̀ sọ àpọ́nlé fún rẹ, fún Islam, fún tó Ọlọ́run. Sọ fún wípé mo fẹ́ ṣètò báyìí. Tóbìnrin wa lóhùn ọgbà, ṣàlàyé fún, ṣe wáàsí fún. Kò tọ́ka sí wípé ò ní ṣe. Tó bá sì fẹ́ lọ ṣe naturally obìnrin á ló react. Àwọn èjì first wife ló react jọ́ ti fẹ́ ṣe tó dájọ́ lọ tọrọ ẹ̀ ní ó tẹ̀lé mi lọ. Kì í ṣe pé ó tẹ lọ́rùn bẹ́ẹ̀, ó tẹ̀lé mi lọ nítorí pé ọmọ bíbí ara nǹkan tí ó kẹ́nà ìdíbò àwọn stress ara kéèyàn kọ́ àwọn ọmọ náà lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ni. My wife called my son pé bàbá ẹ̀ fẹ́ fẹ́yàwó kìnìkan and my son just told but Allah says he can marry for kini ṣé ètò tọ́lọ ṣé ẹ fẹ́ sọ pé n tọ́ ṣe fẹ́ ṣe yẹn ṣé haram ni ó lè ní kí n ṣe haram ẹ̀ náà ẹ fi wọ́n yẹ jẹ́ kó ṣe náà.
Masha Allah.
gbogbo and because of that gbogbo wa jọ lọ ṣe ni a jọ lọ sílé a lọ tọrọ ẹ̀ ni and ditto the other ones so èyí tó dáa jù náà ni kọkùnrin gbọ́ yé wípé kì í ṣe eré kò ń ṣe girlfriend ni mo fẹ́ fẹ́ kì í ṣe pé mo fẹ́ fẹ́ obìnrin láti ẹni tí n fi máa wọlé I'm establishing a home.
An example, the world, maybe because I've traveled and I've seen cultures, I've seen traditions, I've seen values that people celebrate, but all these values put together, they are not up to 1% of what Islam is offering the world. But in this instance, we have Muslims that are very weak, are very shy, and do not even have the will, especially in our own context, to push these values, to present it in a way that the world will accept and celebrate them. I showed us when we started this conference how bold was the Doha Center for Intelligence Dialogue, how they brought the entire world together, including Christians, the Jewish leaders, the monk and the rabbis, together, and they discussed family issues. And we all learned that, we all got to know that all these three major religions, and even those religions, those little religions, we all have one voice as per how should the family look like and how we can build a various society with these values of this family, and they all agree on one model. What is that model? The Islamic model. Today we are talking about polygamy. Some people will look at it and say, it is, if I do not do this, then I'm not being fair to Allah, and I'm not being fair to my family and to those who follow me. We are talking about polygamy, and like our professor said, my own birthday ends for, I'm 50 today, so I don't fear anybody. Even if when I don't have anything, I don't fear anybody. It is a mandate I took from Almighty Allah that I will work for you.
Clerics have described prayers as powerful tools to communicate to the Almighty Allah, as any prayer offered to God in oneness and clean earth receives the attention of God for quick answer. These were submissions made at the annual 1 million Ya Satar and special prayer organized by the Janjaweed Muslim Association of Nigeria on Sunday, 11th August 2024 at the Lagos Central Mosque in Lagos. While speaking with Uzamat Communications at the event, the chairman of Iru Victoria Island, Honorable Rashidat Adu, says,
Today's program is Ya Satar, And we have offered, I'm sure it's more than 1 million. We projected 1 million. And because we have many people here, I want to believe that we are offered more than 1 million. And because we are Muslims, we are believers, we believe that the Yasatar that has offered and all the places that we have sent that prayers to touch, it will touch there. And Almighty Allah has accepted it.
Reiterating this, the National Chief Missioner of the organization, Fadilat Sheikh Professor Kabir Olawale Paramole, noted that the program started 3 years ago with few participants, but as at present, it has gained global recognition.
Indeed, we give thanks to him because the Jawiya is having its third Yasatar prayer. Yasatar means, "Oh Allah, oh the Lord of infinite, definite, and immeasurable mercies." Mercies, as we know, encompass what we call blessings. You see, mercies of Allah can be you wanting to do something and achieving it. You thinking of something within you and getting it done. That is satar. Satar means someone that shades you from all your enemies, gives you all your needs, and beyond that. We started 2022, and till 2024, we are having the third year Satar prayers. We started with few people. Last year, it was more than that of the 2 years ago. Today is better than the other 2 years. And all of us here, you can see my mission board members, the Jawiya members, we are all happy for the success of today's program.
Others to include the national president of the organization, Alhaji Chief Azan Bolaji, says,
dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run tọ́lọ́run tún fún wa ní tọdún yìí náà ṣe àti ń ṣe látọdún kẹtàlélẹ́yìí adẹ̀dúpẹ́ Ọlọ́run fún wa ṣe Ọlọ́run ní jẹ́ kó bàjẹ́ so adẹ̀rí pé lọ́dọọdún ló tún bùbù sí ló tún lọ sókè sí àdúrà torí pé àwọn èèyàn kọ̀ǹfẹ́sì pé gbígbàdúrà wọ́n rí gbígbàdúrà adẹ̀rí pé lọ́dọọdún ní àdúrà yẹn àwọn èèyàn gbà sí tọ́dẹ̀ wa ń jẹ́wọ́ fún testify pé àdúrà àwọn gbà lọ́dọọdún ní agbára Ọlọ́run tún bàjẹ́ pé ọmọ gbàjú báyìí lọ.
On the question you asked, we are here today to witness the 1 million members gathered together to pray and to know how efficient prayer is. Efficacy of prayer in our day-to-day activities and in relation with the way we equally consult with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We cannot dispute the fact that when it comes to prayer, in Islam to be specific, prayer is highly recommended. Highly recommended in the sense that Allah himself told us in the Holy Quran that Idiuni astajib lakum. We should ask from him and he will answer us.
After which, prayers were offered to God for Nigeria and Lagos State at large. Olatunde Atakeno reporting.